Hello and welcome. Today we are going to go ahead and take a look at the Deimos Cruiser. So the Deimos Cruiser is the next in my cruiser series of ships, and these ships are designed to be long range, um, long mission warships. Now, whether you need to go ahead and patrol far distant space, or you need to put boots on the ground, these ships can go ahead and give you what you need. Now, all of my cruisers are Class B ships, and they have to have a galley, a cargo hold, an armory, and infirmary. Additionally, they need to sleep 8 or more, have a minimum 6 or more crew capacity, and they need to have at least 500 fuel and 2,000 cargo. These are all late game combat ships, so you are going to need Starship Design to rank 4, and some of these parts don't unlock until level 59 or 60. However, if you're looking for a ship that can go ahead and tangle with the best and destroy anything that happens to run in your way, Cruiser might be for you. Um, Now, with a minimum 2,000 cargo capacity, these are also ships that can go ahead and allow you to do a good bit of exploring, hit multiple points of interest, and basically stay out for an extended period before you have to swing back and sell off all of your loot. Now, enough looking at this ship. Let's go ahead, come on over to the Deimos Star Yard, and see how this ship is built. So we will go ahead and start with an interior tour. I will show you how it's built, and then we will go ahead and give it a test run out in Serpentis. Alrighty. So you can see that we are immediately starting in the Ares Bridge. There's a small amount of flip glitching coming into here, but since you can't even walk there, I find that acceptable. Now, I am always a sucker for this Ares Bridge because it is nice and huge. Really feels like you're captaining a large warship. Alright, so coming back out of the bridge, we have a companionway, and then behind that we have our captain's quarters. Then we go down the ladder one level, and we find ourselves in the mess hall. So this is the Deimos 2x3 mess hall, or whichever one is wider than it is long. Got plenty of space in here for feeding the crew. On this side over here, we have the 2x2, and this is going to be our computer room. Then we have an all-in-one. Gives us 4 beds. Another all-in-one for another 4 beds. Note, I was playing around with this some. You could make this either a 2x2 as it is now, or a 2x3 if you so prefer. Coming on over to the other side of the ship, we'll walk through this little area, and we find ourselves in the Deimos living quarters. So this is basically the crew relaxation area when they are not on duty. Back here we have another 2x2 all-in-one, and then yet another 2x2 all-in-one. So that gives this ship a total of 17 beds, more than enough for your full crew, as well as a small landing crew. Next, let's keep going down. So down here we have a 1x1 companionway. If you so desire, you could go ahead and put your docker down here. but I have the docker separated up front, and you'll see where in just a second. Now, on each side, I have the 2x2 cargo hold. Yes, I know these areas do exactly nothing, but roleplay-wise, you would think that your ship would have an interior cargo. Oh, hey, that moves. All right. All right, moving forward off of the mess hall, we have our armory. And you can see right here, this is where our docking access is. Just forward of that, that is where our landing bay access is. So this is the primary entrance to the ship. And then moving forward a little bit more, this is where our infirmary is. So overall, a fairly simple ship design that can accomplish basically anything that you're looking for. All right, walking on back here.
I wish Deimos was exclusively a military contract.
If you can't afford our ship, let's get you set up.
Alrighty, so let's hop into the ship builder. And you can see our stats down at the bottom here. And for this ship, I have grays, exact same for each one of these. And then I put a red stripe down it. And again, exact same red. So now you can see I've got that in my color palette. And I can go ahead now and delete the ship. Alright, so how is this ship built? Now, as usual, we will go ahead and start with the landing bay. And then immediately on top of that, we will grab our armory. Forward of the armory, we have our infirmary. Backwards of the armory, we have the 2x3 mess hall. On the top of this mess hall, we have a companionway. And on the bottom of this mess hall, we have a companionway. And I made a small mistake. I need to push the landing bay forwards one. And since we're here anyways, let's go ahead and grab that docker, which will be the 100 DP slim docker. Again, if you would prefer, the 110 DP docker. Ugh. Again, if you would prefer, you can very easily go ahead and swap this docker with the slim docker on the underside of this companionway. And if you do that, you also have the choice of continuing like I did with two 2x2 cargo hulls like this, or we could go ahead and pull the companionway right there, place the slim docker on that, and then back here we could put on the 2x3 cargo hull. And that would just connect right through there. So you have effectively still coming through the armory to get in and out, but now there's a little bit less on the sides. Again, just however you want your ship to work. I'll copy that cargo hull on over to this side. And then up here, I'm going to go ahead and grab myself the computer core. And on this side, I will grab the living quarters. Then, off the front and the back of the living quarters and computer core, we will just go ahead and slap on a pair of Deimos all-in-ones. Finally, off the back of this upper companionway, we will grab our captain's quarters. And then off the front of the companionway, we can go ahead and grab our cockpit. So that is the HAB layout for this ship. Alrighty. So what are we going to do next? Let's go ahead and grab our engines. So I'm using 3 of the Dun 71 engines. There's one underneath the captain's quarters, and then one under each of the all-in-ones on the sides. Next, let's grab our reactor and grav drive, and these are just placed in right here underneath the engine and in the small gap right here. So for my reactor, I am of course using the 104 DS mag inertial. And then for my grav drive, I was able to get away with the Aurora 12G. This gives me 30 grav jump thrust. The 27 from the R4000 or the Helios 400 left me with only 26 light years jump range, so I had to upgrade to slightly better grav drive. All right, next up, let's go ahead and grab our landing gear. So on directly in front of the Dun 71 engines, I have the 320 CB landing gear, one on each side, and then I'm going to push one forward, so I've got a gap right there for another landing gear. So I've got 4 total on this ship. Next up, let's go ahead and grab some structural pieces, because we're going to need these before we can go ahead and attach our fuel. So I am making use of the ship flip glitch and the duplication glitch for this ship. And first thing I am doing here is I am hiding my reactor and grav drive under a Deimos hull. Then I am duplicating a Deimos hull up one more time over the front side of this engine. Now, looking at the engine, you notice it has a connection point on the back, but it does not have a connection point on the front. However, I wanted to make use of this front connection point for sticking my fuel and cargo. So that's why I am duplicating there. Speaking of which, now that we've got that in place, we can go ahead and add that fuel and cargo. So for the fuel tanks, I am using a pair of the H30 Atlas fuel tanks. And I am just putting them on each side of the grav drive. So this gives this ship a total of 800 fuel. Then above that, on the Deimos hull, I'm going ahead and sticking my cargo. And I have 2 400 cm ballast cargo holds here. And then I also have 4 200 cm ballast cargo holds. Just like so. Alrighty. Next, I do have my shield, which is going to be the 28T Defender shield. And since this is a side connecting somewhere, I just decided to stick it on the back of this engine. That. Alright. Now, we have everything that we need aside from weapons and structural pieces. So let's go ahead and start adding those structural pieces. First off, I have a Deimos belly here, and then I have a Deimos cowling here. Then over here I have a Deimos tail and a Deimos tail. Oh, that's what I was doing wrong. Let's go ahead and pull this Dun 71 engine back one, as well as the landing gear. There we go. And now the tail is attached to the top of the engine and the back of the all-in-one. Alrighty. Then, on the sides here, I have the Deimos wing. And then I have another Deimos wing and the wing A. And then I can duplicate that wing on over to this side and copy all of this over here. Just like so. Then, right here, I'm going to go ahead and grab a Deimos bumper. And then I'm going to grab the Deimos bumper, copy the Deimos bumper off to the side, and then flip it into place to fully cover this. And then I'm going to copy all of this over here and repeat. There we go. Next up, I have Deimos braking engines, a Deimos cowling 4, a Deimos cowling 4, and then I'm flipping 2 more Deimos cowlings into place over the front of the mess hall, and that's merging in with this bumper. Alrighty. Next up, we need to go ahead and put our top spines down. And for this ship, we're just using a lot of spine Bs. Select the correct thing, please, before we get to a spine A. Then I'm going to grab a spine A and flip that in over the bridge. Grab another spine A spine B, a spine A, and flip it. And then take this whole row here and copy it over here. Then let's go ahead and grab a bumper and copy it on up here. And then we want the bumper rear. Alright, so that is the top of the ship done. Now we can come on over to the bottom of the ship. And here I'm going to go ahead and put skeg Bs. And then skeg A. I'm going to copy these skeg A's underneath these Deimos cowlings. And then take this whole line here and copy it on over to this side. And there you go. That is all of the structural elements. Alrighty then. So from here, we are now going to add our weapons. Now, for this ship, I decided to go ahead and use 4 PBO 175s. There we go. Oh, come on. And those are just on the top and bottom of this little wing here. Over here, I am using 4 PBO 100s. And, we only have so much weapon hardpoints here, so, you got to be careful where you put things. Anyways, somewhere along the spine, just wherever you think looks coolest, I'm also going to go ahead and place the Disruptor 3320 neutron beams. Now, if you wanted to, you could also use the PBO 100 auto neutron beams. I will note that these are non-auto weapons, and that was part of why I chose them. And there we go. That is everything placed. So we now need to assign our weapons. And then time to paint the ship. So I'm going to start by taking the whole ship and coloring it in that black color. Then it's time for the racing stripes. So I'm basically taking this line down the center. But ignoring the mess hall. And then I'm going to paint all of this red. There we go. And that is the Deimos Cruiser.
When you get serious about your spacecraft, come back to Deimos.
Alrighty then. Let's go ahead and undock. And now I'm going to reduce power to my engines. And let's jump on out to Serpentis and see how well it performs. And put our power back into our engines. And see who shows up. Alright, so the eulogy tool fell fast. Alrighty. So they fell fairly fast. Let me go ahead and reallocate my power a little bit. And max out power to that neutron turret. And then we will hop on over to the hostile activity over here. And looks like we just have 2 hostiles here. And you can see how the turret is firing more frequently now. Alrighty. And those guys were ended fast. Alrighty. Let's go ahead and hit up another planet or 3. Is anybody going to show up? Looks like the answer to that is no. Alrighty. Hop on over here to Serpentis 1. Ooh, Crimson Fleet. All right, and a haunt. There we go. Bonk. All right. And let's see if anybody is over here at Serpentis 3. Yes, a settler. Okay. All right, fine. We'll check out this moon. All right. There we go. All right. So if you watched all the way to the end, thank you very much. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, do all those YouTube things. And otherwise, I will see you in the next one.